Good evening, or whatever time it is, wherever you are. And if you're viewing from the future, hello. Those are some oysters. And I am going to endeavor my first ever public food related scope, which maybe will be fun. I don't know. So these are some oysters that are left what remains of a big box of oysters we had delivered. My mom had delivered for Thanksgiving. So these arrived Wednesday a week ago. So they've been here about 9 days. They are still taste sweet and fresh. They're not at that peak of sweetness and just out of the oyster bed to eat on the half shell like we were doing on Thanksgiving. But what's left here, I'm going to shuck and put them aside out of the shells, and I'm going to make a chowder, an oyster chowder that they will go into. There's 22 of them left. And thanks for the folks who are joining in. Good to see you. If I don't respond to you there, it's not because I don't notice you, and I'm happy, and I will be looking back at the replay of this after I'm done. So let's see if we can shuck these oysters. All right, there I am. Hello. And I don't know how adept I'll be at setting up this amazing camera. All right, let's give it a go. And here is my nice, thick, heavy cloth towel. You always want to have this. And here is my amazing oyster knife. And you want to always have a top end oyster knife. And so we pick up our first oyster. We're going to give it a little rinse. Okay. There it is. Beautiful oyster. And so I'm going to hold it here in the towel. Always want to be very, very careful. This is something you want to pay a lot of attention to. You're looking for that space between the two halves of the shell. You get the edge of the oyster knife in there, and then you want to give it a little twist. It's not quite there. There it is. Then you hear the crack as it breaks open. Oh, got a little breaking in the shell there. All right. Smells beautiful. And there's our oyster. And we'll just take that out of the shell. And since I'm not going to be using these on the half shell, just earlier tonight did a couple dozen prior to these, and did those as oysters Rockefeller. It's the first time I ever made that dish, and it came out pretty darn good. For now, I'm just going to be emptying these out of the shells and into this bowl here, and then my plan is I'm going to make a nice chowder, and those will all get chopped up and put into it. Here's another beautiful oyster right here. So wrap that up. And set our knife. And you definitely want to pay close attention to what you're doing. There it is. So, all I can say from experience, look at that. It's beautiful. That is a beautiful oyster. I can say is you don't want to mess it up because I'll pour that juice in there. So yeah, I'm pouring my my oyster and my juice into the dish here, and then later on all that juice will go into the chowder. And chop up the oysters real fine, put them in there. And want to frequently give your knife a rinse. Here's another one. Okay. Oh, this one broke as well, broke the shell. So that means we gotta just carefully work around it. There it is. And I always am giving these a smell, and they all smell great. So we just put that in our jar right here. Okay. Here is another one. Yeah, it's an interesting thing when we decide we want to decide we want to go on the broadcast ourselves via the social web, and then well, we need to have some content, right? And there's different tacks we can take. I've shown off my cat in the garden, and I can do my own radio shows where I read great classics of literature. And maybe I can do food too. Tarot cards. I'm considering tarot cards as another channel of content that I might be able to do as I get into this kind of stuff. But of course, I am at heart and at soul a poet. Oh, beautiful. Okay. So the chowder is going to be really delicious. I think it's going to have a bunch of different vegetables all sautéed up in butter. Chop up some bacon, throw that in there. Add some stock, and then at the end it'll be the chopped up oysters and some cream to finish it. And that ought to be a damn good bowl of soup. That's what I'm expecting. Let's see, here we have. Okay, let's see, get this one here. Well, we have a very small but prized audience here at the moment live while I'm doing this. But if this looks all right, I will leave it up, and then hopefully some more of you will be able to view the replay from whenever in the future. All right. Another beautiful oyster. It's a good thing. It's a good thing I'm just doing this for fun, because I don't think I'd last too long as a professional oyster shucker. I think they would want me to shut them faster than this. But I'm not gonna rush at this, because I want to get them shucked, and I want to get them shucked safely. Okay. Where's the crack in this one? Here. Here. There. There we are. Look at that. Wow. So these came from the upper on the Puget Sound, and very amazing part of the world there along the. I'm not sure exactly where up there they came from, but I have been up there and I've seen some of the oyster farms and where they grow them. And they're pretty darn good. See here. There it is. All right. Oh, this one we had a little damage to the shell there. That happens sometimes. There it is. Beautiful briny oyster. Okay. So, not everybody gets oysters, but people who do will understand. And I've had some remarkable times with oysters. Several of my favorite feeds, oyster feeds, were in Europe in farmers markets. Uh, I was one time in a marvelous market that runs up the Boulevard Henry Lenar, I believe it is, that runs up from the place of the Bastille, and they have the market there, and they had a stand heaped with oysters, and this one fat guy was shucking the other guy, divvying them up and selling them. And, these were, I guess, from Normandy or something. They're big, fat oysters. So I think they sold them at three at a time. So I've had like three of them, and it's like, oh man, that's great. And so I ordered three more, and I'm slurping them down. Oh man, and the fat guy Shucky, he just stops. He goes, oh, oui, monsieur. I'm like, yeah, man, that's good. And then the other time was in Amsterdam, and there is a farmer's market there, like Saturdays, I think it is. The Norder Market in the Jordan, and it is just an awesome market. But on this occasion, I've been to that market a few times, and it's just awesome. I can't wait to go back. On this occasion, it was right around St. Patrick's Day, and there was an Arctic freeze coming in off the North Sea, and it was freezing cold, and like everything was just barely not getting blown over, and when the wind hit you. I've been to several places that were colder than I'm used to, but this was it set the benchmark for me. That's what that's my definition of cold since then. But there was a stand there in there was a stand there, an oyster stand, and that guy was shucking these huge fat oysters, and I bought a few rounds from him, just slurping them down, and it was so cold outside, and just absolutely fresh, icy ocean oysters, and the wind almost knocking over the tents and the stands. And then after that, it was time to retreat into a wonderful little cafe next to the market and have some hot, strong coffee. Amsterdam is a wonderful city. forward to returning there. I forgot to mention in the Paris market, after I had my fill of those oysters, and I was wandering further on, and there was another stall with oysters. Only these guys were even fancier, and they served served one up on the half shell. They gave it a little spritz of champagne. So theirs were served out with a little drenching of champagne. So it was a little bit more ostentatious. I don't know. I think their price maybe was higher. I don't know. But I was perfectly happy with the guys I did business with. I love the markets in Paris. It's a great way to eat the real Parisian food and not have to go buy a big expensive meal all the time, you know. You want to be able to do that too, you know, several times, especially if once you figure out some really hip place that you're in sympathy with. I am pining for Paris. Can't wait to go back. And plan to go back just as soon as possible. Let's see here. I hope this is the right joint here. Hard to say. Is that it? Yeah, I think so. There it is. I think this is a good honing of my skills here, but I do not want to get tired and mess it up. Not now. There's definitely an element of danger involved in oyster shucking. I can attest because I have injured myself before, and it was not enjoyable. So I recommend everybody who shucks oysters be very careful. But it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling to go through this much damn work, and you kind of understand why they charge a lot if you go get them at a restaurant. It's labor intensive. All right, here's another one. That's a beautiful thing. Let's see, where's our spot? Here it is. So yeah, what I'll do is I will cut up all my vegetables, and then I will soften them up in some melted butter. Throw in a few bay leaves, of course. I don't know if it's coming through on the background, but Star Trek background soundtrack is cool. Just as long as that. Okay. Where the fuck is it? There it is. That one was tough. Wonderful. All right. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, and I'm just like, I like about our uh, Periscope or in similar broadcast platforms that we have available to us, which is just amazing. I mean, you know, I'm old enough for it to be amazing to me, and it's great that we can sort of learn as we do it and do it ourselves. We create our own media, our own entertainment. And we can share things. How to shuck oysters. Oh, this one just. Let's see. Original Star Trek rocks. This one's shell's just coming to pieces. Weird. Always get a few weird ones. How am I going to open this puppy? Let's see. That's a big fella in there too. Coming to pieces. There we are. Holy cow, that's a big one. There's a big oyster. Okay. But anyways, I can see, once I get this figured out, and I need a modest little stand, to set my phone up in. I don't even have that. I'm just leaning it against a big tin jar. And then I could show you some cool stuff. What's that? Sorry if I am missing any comments. I will go back and watch this again, and I will pay close attention to your comments. And anybody who's tuning in, either live or in the replay, who doesn't follow me, you can certainly do that, and then you'll know, if interested, when I show you how to get the seeds out of a pomegranate. How about that? That would be good. Let's see, where the hell is this? Oh, there it is. There we are. Yeah, so all the wonderful chopped up vegetables will saute in that butter, and then the chopped up pieces of bacon in there, get them all nice and soft and everything. Add a little stock, put down another beautiful oyster. And then you get your chopped up, all these oysters chopped up and added with the oyster juice. And then some cream at the very end. The oysters, I saw that, and I will respond. The oysters came from Puget Sound, and I can't remember the name, but it's a company that will ship. They're on the internet. You can find them on the internet, and I'm sorry, I don't remember their name, but you have to buy a fairly fairly sizable number at a time. And then you have to shuck them all. So it is it's a labor-intensive delicacy. But that's one thing I've discovered this year. This year of the pandemic. This one has a big old barnacle on the side of it. I'm just going to take that right off. Okay. All right. Let's give it a go. Let's see, where's that right here? Yeah, right. This smells really good. They're really delicious, I'll tell you. Tonight was the first time I've ever made oysters Rockefeller, which is keep your oysters on the half shell. You add a little cream spinach, and then you give them a little drizzle of Pernod and some breadcrumbs on the top, and you broil them for about 5 minutes. And 2 thumbs way up. Won't be the last time I make that dish. Okay, here we go. Oh, and then at the very end, when the soup is ready to serve, that lovely creamy chowder, I will dice up some fresh parsley from the garden, real fine, and that will be just sprinkled on top of the garnish. Okay. There it is, the last oyster. One of those big, long, skinny guys. Okay. Let's see what I can do about that. There it is. And here it goes. And all right. And there is the results of the labor. That's the shucked oysters in the juice of the oysters, and those are going to go in when I've finished getting my chowder all ready. Those will get stirred into it. So this is the first of my first ever Roarshock cooking scope, and I hope you enjoyed it. And how many was that? That was 22. That was the last 22. Of we had like probably about 80 of them when we started, something like that. I think we ordered 6 dozen, and it appears they gave us a nice little Thanksgiving bonus or something. There seemed to be quite a few more. So now they're all shucked. I shucked every one of them too. So thanks so much for watching, and tune in again. I think I will do other fun stuff like this. Thank you very much.